Here's a classical guitar waltz by Fernando Carulli. Obviously, it being a classical piece, I'm playing it on a classical guitar, an electric classical, using my fingers, and a combination of the nail with the flesh in traditional classical style. I am not going to play the repeats of the section, just to get the point across. You'll know how it's supposed to sound. But when I play it, I do want you to notice how I apply some tonal variety with the right hand, some dynamics, getting louder and softer, and also application of staccato, right hand staccato primarily. When you practice this piece, I would really work on getting a balance. I mean, if you haven't played classical guitar, this is a great entry-level piece. So you heard how I went sometimes, a little bit of staccato in there. Now you can also play it real long. And on that note, I want to point out that don't make the mistake that a lot of guitarists make. They don't let notes ring. Now, the notation makes it look like you're playing these eighth notes, so you assume in 3/8 time you're only going to get one beat. But because we play a polyphonic instrument which can continue to ring, we can utilize that to our benefit. Sometimes it's a struggle, but in this case, like on the second half of this, or second section I should say, I want you to notice here we have a D7, the 5 chord, and we go back to the 1 chord. Notice I don't pick up that C with my index finger until the note changes on that string, namely the 3rd beat of that second measure of the second section. So here's the G sus4 right there. So you're actually rolling these arpeggios. You're not doing this. You're not going like grabbing a chord and finger picking, grabbing a chord and finger picking. That'll really mess you up. The open strings in this 3rd section, for example. Keep them ringing as long as possible. Don't interrupt them because that's what's going to give you a big sound. And then you heard me go up over the fingerboard for that dulce, sweet sound. I do need to point out that this is an electric classical. It's got the piezo pickups. This is what I use when I'm playing solo guitar gigs because I've got to be heard. And the downside of these pickups and this sound is that you get a lot of nail noise, it's kind of quacky, and you have all of this sustain that you wouldn't have with an acoustic instrument. So if you're practicing this on a pure acoustic classical, you won't have as many wrestling matches with dampening, and it'll be a little easier to control. And when you play on electric classical, if you dig in real hard, it gets pretty harsh. So those are some of the points I wanted to bring across when you play classical guitar.